Hello guys, welcome to another quick video. Today I was driving by and I noticed my good friends at Valili Sports and Marine in Minot, North Dakota had a new consignment of Roxors. Take a look. There you go. The 2020 Mahindra Roxor has arrived at Valili Sports and Marine in Minot, North Dakota. So this is the very first time I'm actually seeing these in person. Unfortunately, I was driving by at night and I noticed this, and I stopped by. Hopefully within the next couple of days, God willing, I will be able to contact Scott, my good friend at Valili, and see if I can stop by and take one for a spin. Test drive, which of course I will report to you guys completely. Now, the big thing for 2020, as you guys may be aware of, is the new grille design, which you can see on these Roxors. And then the second big thing would be the 5.38 gear set, which will be installed in the front and rear axles. Current setup is a 3.73 gear setup in both the front and rear axles. I believe what happened was Mahindra found out most of the guys buying the Roxor were gonna use it for rock crawling, and there've been a lot of discussion about what kind of changes have to be made to get the new gear sets, bigger gears, which will give even greater reductions. That way when the engine spins once, the final drive system spins even less, and that's very, very good for rock crawling. If you have to take it on the rocks and crawl very slowly, that's what most of the guys have been looking for, and Mahindra responded, and that's what they did for the 2020 Mahindra Roxor. So you can see here you have a whole consignment. First thing that really struck me when I took a closer look at the grille, it almost seems like it's actually a two-piece grille. You have a top part, and then that bottom part seems to be separate, but don't quote me on that. I haven't seen anybody take that apart. Another thing I've noticed, unfortunately I came here when there was no one around, it was after business hours, is that under the hood, I believe there should be a shroud for the fan, so the radiator is no longer just exposed with a fan connected directly to the engine. It actually has a shroud right now that should channel the air more efficiently over the engine and through the radiator to improve cooling. So those are three items I've spoken about: the new grille, the 5.38 gears, and then the fan shroud. Apart from that, pretty much the Roxor is it looks very much like the 2019s. Standing next to it, I'm not sure if it's the tires that make it, but it seems to be just a little bit taller than I remember the 2019s being, or the 2018s. It could just be me again. I didn't have a tape measure to see if it stood 9 inches from the ground like the 2018s or the 2019s, but it just felt like and seemed to me like it stood a little bit taller. Interior pretty much the same like the 2018s and 2019s. Have the slight improvement with the slightly brownish background on the instrument cluster, which was a change that became effective in 2019. And then also on the steering wheel, center of the steering wheel, you have also the established 1947 badge, which is now on the steering wheel. It carried over to the 2020. I'll have to take a look at my Roxor, but I almost feel like the steering wheel is a slightly different design. I'm not sure, When I get back home, I will take a look. I try to get a few shots so you can take a look also and see if I was dreaming or I actually saw a difference. I really love this military spec Roxor. You have there the tire pressure 28 psi. It says USA. OD green, I believe that's what it's called. And all these ones here are flat black, except for the red and the black one. All the others are flat black. They just look so gorgeous. Very, very well made. Reminds me of when I got my Roxor for the first time. So there you go again. That's the OD green. You can see tire pressure 28 psi. The new grille, which looks like a Toyota Landcruiser FJ series from the mid-70s. And of course, the personality of the Roxor still stays the same. Bare bones. Really not practical out here in my neck of the woods, because even just staying out there for like 15 minutes filming, by the time I got into my car, I was freezing. My hands were almost frozen. So these are not practical without a cab out here. They're just not practical. But I would have to say they really look nice. As you can see, everything is pretty much the same from 2018. It just carried on over. No major changes I could tell of. I could see, just looking at it roughly. You still have the 2 seats with the storage compartments underneath. Seats are not adjustable in any way. You just have to slide forward or backwards. That is only the only adjustment you can make. So there's the 2020 Mahindra Roxor. It was really quite a revelation seeing it in person. And you can see I was trying to look very closely, as close as I could, to determine if that was a 2-piece grille. But it's hard to tell. I like the new style. I like the new design, matched with the color of the body. So like I was saying, out here, you look on my right, you can see all of those Polaris Rangers. They all have cabs, or most of them do have cabs, because out here it gets really, really cold, and you don't want to be in a UTV and be freezing yourself off. And to reply to that concern, you can see that's a sand dune color Roxor with the half door. It's got a 4-seat option with seat belt in the back. Really beautiful color. 4-seat option rollover protection system also. And this one has a stick shift. I believe that's a 2019. And this is what I was talking about. That really makes the big difference, having a cab. A white Roxor with automatic transmission, 4-seater option. Really, really gorgeous. It looks really beautiful. And the good thing about this is you can actually take 4 people out, and if you have the heater option, you guys can be in absolute comfort while you go hunting and stay out there on the trails for hours and hours. And looking there, that's not plexiglass, it's actual glass. And if you didn't have the spare tire, you could actually open up just the glass portion without opening up the lower portion. And let's say you have some groceries, you can drop them in there without having to open up the whole rear door. I believe this is the DFK hard cab for the Mahindra Roxor. The way you can tell the difference is when you look at the front door where it hooks up, it's connected to the body. This one has like a piece which carries the hinge, and that piece is attached to the body first, and then you hinge the door on there. Whereas the Mahindra Automotive North America version is just like a regular door for a car, and you don't see that additional piece where you hinge the door to attach it to the body. I really like this setup. Looks beautiful. Automatic transmission, Mahindra Roxor 2019, I believe. It's fully loaded. I took a peek inside and I could see it has a Bluetooth speaker setup, and it just looks really nice. Some people like the old style grille like you have on here, and some people actually love the 2020s. It's a product that has been on the market for 2 years, so some people like to buy the product knowing that they have that differentiation, that you can tell that they actually bought the 2020, because apart from the grille, it's basically everything is the same. Case in point, Nissan with the Nissan pickup truck, not the Titan, the smaller one. They had the same problem for more than 10 years. That pickup has just had the same basic design, and finally people just stopped buying the pickup because a guy who bought it 10 years ago and a guy who bought it a month ago, you couldn't tell the difference. So I believe also for 2020, 2021, Nissan is gonna change the design of their light pickup truck, which will be something refreshing. So thanks for watching, guys. I will end this video just by walking back, do a quick shot of the Roxors, and just as you can tell from this lineup, the only way you can actually sell these side by sides out here is when you have a cap on them, because it just gets too cold where it's not practical at all to ride in an open air vehicle like this Roxors. So most of these will be getting caps, I'm sure about that. Who all buys them will likely be putting caps on them, at the very least a windshield. Just another quick look at what they have in stock for 2020. I was really stoked and excited to be able to see this in person. Remember, we had the teaser videos and we're all imagining what the 2020 Mahindra Roxor will look like. Now hopefully I get the chance, one of my off days, to stop by and hopefully be able to take one of these for a test drive. Again, this is Valili Sports and Marine. They have 2 offices, 2 showrooms, one in Bismarck, the capital of North Dakota, and another one in Minot, which is about an hour and a half to 2 hours north of Bismarck. These are just a few shots, few pictures I took, so you can take a closer look at what the 2020 Mahindra Roxor looks like. Major change would be the grille. Subtle changes would be the 5.38 gearing, which will allow for those who put on bigger tires and go rock crawling to enjoy themselves. That steering just looks almost like it's different from what I knew. Well, don't quote me on that, still to be confirmed. But apart from those, I would say 3 changes: the fan shroud, the 5.38 gears, the new grille. This is pretty much like a 2019 Mahindra Roxor. Just a few more pictures. Interior, nothing really changed. Gorgeous black and OD green with the military decals. Just some more pictures. And if you're wondering how to get a hold of Valili Sports and Marine, you can just do a quick Google search. Valili Sports and Marine, Minot or Bismarck, North Dakota. And just give them a call, and I'm sure they'll be more than happy to assist you, answer your questions about the 2020 Mahindra Roxor. Thanks for watching, and see you guys on the next video.